strategizing with somebody else that's outside of your company can help you because we forget that, look, entrepreneurship is lonely, right?
For sure.
Very,
yes.
Just very lonely. I mean,
yeah.
You're not going to a dinner party or to your friend's house over the weekend and talking about strategizing your business. You know, hey mom, my numbers are down for the third month in a row. What do you think I should do?
Right. Not
mom
a conversation. No.
She might not have a solution for you.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 140 of the Game On Girlfriend podcast. Today, my guest is Danielle Hayden. And if you run away, there's like a U-shaped hole in the wall every time we have to talk about financials in the business. This is the episode you are going to want to just kind of buckle down, get some popcorn, maybe take some notes, because this is going to be the episode for you. Now, Danielle was a CFO for over 10 years. And while it was really awesome and she loved the numbers, I'm sure she did a journey like most of us have done, right? Where it's like, okay, this is great. And it's so nice to help the wealthy investors get even wealthier. It's really great to help the awesome board of directors make even more money. I'm not that fulfilled, right? And that really is what happened to Danielle. And so she took all of these amazing skills that she has and she opened up her own accounting firm. And now what she does, especially for women entrepreneurs, is help them understand their numbers. And I love the way she breaks it down. We're doing the real questions that you actually have. The other thing I talk about with Danielle that I really hope you listen for is how scary this is. I know it's scary. I think you know it's scary. I mean, here you are, blood, sweat, and tears, pouring everything you have into your business. And now somebody says, great, can I look at your numbers? And it's like, no. Or you could have that response of like, yeah, but only these ones, right? It's a really common, normal response. And I love the way that Danielle talks about how there's no shame in these numbers. So there's a lot here for you to get about the power of your numbers, how to use these numbers, when to use these numbers. And Danielle has also offered all of you watching a free gift. And the link for that free gift, it's your financial dashboard. I mean, come on, she's made one for you. It's pretty cool. You can grab that down below. All right. So without further ado, let's take a little swig of courage and let's dive into your numbers. Danielle, welcome to the Game On Girlfriend podcast. I'm kind of excited to have you on today because I think you and I both love data almost the same amount.
Oh yeah, I love data. I love all things numbers. So thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So listen, before we jump in, I've just given everybody your amazing bio, but just so you can share, from your own experiences, how did you decide this is what you wanted to do? What is it about data and numbers that just makes your socks roll up and down?
I had a really, really, and I think every business owner can probably say this, roller coaster ride into entrepreneurship. But I really fell in love with numbers through kind of an odd journey. So I used to be a hairdresser, and when I was working as a hairdresser, I realized that was a numbers game. So the salon would have goals, you would have goals as an individual, and as you hit these goals would impact how much money you earned, and it was all a numbers game. And I started to master my numbers game in the salon. And then I started helping some of the other stylists that I was working with understand what their numbers were, right? How many cuts did they have to do? How many colors? How much retail did they need to sell in order to hit their goals? So I realized I had a niche and a love for numbers for it to be able to help us hit our goals no matter what. I didn't even know about accounting yet at the time. But I was already falling in love with data and the process that data, the empowerment that data gave us. And that is when I went back into the corporate world and fell in love with accounting and helped be able to put those two pieces of the puzzle together, right? There's data, and then there's actual accounting, bookkeeping, taxes, and that work. And so now I'm really working with entrepreneurs to put both of those sides together.
I love that. And you said that data helps you in business, which we know, but I'd love to hear from you. What do you think it informs the most? You guys, she totally didn't know I was going to ask her that. So it's kind of a trick question, but it's like, because I feel like that way sometimes too. There's so much data that come in, and I talk about open rates and click-through rates and all those sorts of things. But when you look at financial data and you're talking about that, what is it do you think that could inform people the most? Like, which decisions does it help them make?
So first and foremost, I think it changes your mindset the most. So I know that's a softer answer than people expect, but it helps your mindset and helps you find empowerment in your business. So a lot of times we have a tendency to think things are worse off than they are. And so when we're actually looking at the data, we're able to put real numbers to our progress, not our success, to our progress, to the journey. And we can use that in order to find strength and encouragement in our businesses. And then there's tactical decisions that it helps inform. Am I ready to hire? How much can I pay them? Am I ready do I need to hire a contractor or an employee? How much do I pay myself? Do I become an S Corp? Now, how much do I put on myself on salary for? I'm interested in joining this coaching program. Can I afford it? Now that we're back open, I want to travel and go to these conferences. Is that the right business move, right? So once we have a basic understanding of our numbers, we can start to use them to make tactical decisions as well, not just mindset.
I love it. Okay. So there's a lot, it really can inform almost all of it. And I'm hearing you say something I love about teaching from data, like that hardcore, like, let's just look at what the numbers say, is it separates like the human being from the business, right? It allows you to ask the question, what does the business need us to do? Or like you're saying, what can we do inside the business based on these numbers?
Yeah, you're not the business. The business is a separate entity, right? You are you, and your business is the business. And I call it the report card effect, but we don't get a report card, right? You're not in school anymore. You like when your bookkeeper sends you your financials, it's not your it's not your report card. Our clients don't get from us a set of financial statements with an F in the subject line. Right?
You failed this quarter.
Right. It doesn't work that way.
But I bet people are scared of that though, right? I mean, isn't that a big fear people have when they sign on with you?
Because we're so used to being pass or fail, right? And there's no such thing as in that. In entrepreneurship, there is no such thing. It's just looking at the numbers, what worked, what didn't work, what is my progress? What do I need to change? What can I drive from these numbers? How can I use them to improve so that I can get the trend line in the direction that I want to see it next month?
Love that. Because I mean, I would imagine for so many people, right? When you're starting out in your business, you're trying to do, I mean, boy, do we work hard, right? Like you're just doing all the things. You're like sweating bullets all the time. I want to do a really good job. I want this to work. And then it's like, you got to have somebody come and do the bookkeeping, do the accounting. Do you run into that a lot with people?
Oh.
How do you work with people who are just terrified to have you see their numbers?
Oh my goodness. So I didn't realize that. So I came from a corporate world. I was working as a CFO. I was working with a lot of investors and board of directors, and it was cut and dry, right? It was like, what are we doing? What are the numbers telling us? They weren't judging anybody. It was nobody's fault. They weren't pointing fingers or yelling at anybody. So I thought it was really odd when I came into entrepreneurship that people felt that way, right? That when we talked about numbers, that they felt shame and embarrassment. And I'm over here like, whoa, guys, ladies, it's the numbers, right? Like it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's the numbers. And this is what it's telling us. Let's just use it for more information, for data points, and to grow. So yes, we see all the time. What I've realized over the last 8 years is that there's so much money mindset wrapped into our business and our financials that I really understand that it can be really difficult for entrepreneurs to open up and allow somebody to see that side of their business. And that's why we've created a culture at Kickstart Accounting where there's no judgment. Our team doesn't judge each other. We don't judge our clients. We don't talk about each other. We don't talk about our clients. We treat each other with respect. And it's an open space where we can ask all of the questions that we have. And so if you're somebody who's listening to this that is saying, I'm not looking at my numbers because I don't understand them. And I can't get help because I'm too ashamed of what they're going to tell me. Find a team who isn't going to make you feel the shame and judgment, because there shouldn't be that shame and judgment around your numbers and your finances.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's so important. I mean, I run into it too, just as a coach, right? Where I'm like, okay, that's awesome that you want to go do this, or you want to put your attention there. Can you afford that? Like, is that going to give you the living that you really want? And it gets really scary for people. And I find that that ends up just building that trust with people and having people come and go, no, okay, I can tell her this. This is going to work out. There isn't judgment here. And really breaking through that, because like we said at the beginning, I love the way you said that, like, you are not your business. But when you're an entrepreneur, that collapse can happen really fast, where they feel like every decision or everything they do is really on them 100%, and that they pass or fail. It's so cool that you guys do that. And I love the no talking about people at all.
Yeah.
It's a really cool company culture you guys have created.
Thank
Danielle.
you.
Awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. So I know you like to talk about something called financial accountability. So in this whole realm of like no judgment, all those sorts of things, when we talk about accountability around our financial statements or the health of businesses, what does that mean to you, and how does it support people?
Yeah. So I believe that we have a responsibility as business owners. The day that you started collecting payments from your customers, so I don't care how small you are a business and you're collecting money from your clients or customers. We now have a responsibility to our customers, to our vendors, to everybody that we're working with, our family, in order to make this business a success. And you cannot have a successful business unless you understand your numbers. And so we have to create a culture as entrepreneurs where we stop accepting words like, I'm not a numbers person. I'm a creative. I don't have to do the numbers. Well, I'm sorry. I'm calling BS on that, right? Because that is an excuse. It's a way that we are letting ourselves off the hook and allowing ourselves not to take accountability. So when we talk about accountability, now I'm not saying that to be harsh, I'm saying for it to be real, right? This is entrepreneurship. We all have our big girl, big boy pants on. We have to step into that and allow ourselves to be held accountable as an entrepreneur. And so what we do when we work with our clients, we act as their accountability partner. So for anybody who's saying, gosh, numbers and bookkeeping, it is difficult. And I respect that can be difficult. And so it can follow people around like a black cloud. I call it the black cloud effect.
Totally get that. I totally get that.
Right. I don't want to do it, but I have to. So it's just following me around. It's like I'm constantly in a rainstorm. Instead of letting that black cloud continue to follow you, owning either, if you are DIYing your bookkeeping and your numbers, finding that time in your schedule where you are going to hold yourself accountable. So this could be Money Monday, Finance Friday.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, don't do it on a Saturday or Sunday because it makes you hate your business even more.
Okay.
Pick a day during the week. But holding that accountability to yourself that you're going to address the most important area of your business. And I say that knowing that sales and marketing are pretty darn important, but this is right up there with it, right?
Yeah, because you don't know if the sales and marketing is working if you don't know what your numbers are, right? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
So either holding yourself accountable or finding an accountability partner. And so when we work with our clients, we serve as their accountability partner, not just taking care of the bookkeeping. Like, yeah, that's great that you have somebody else doing your bookkeeping, but we actually send our clients their financials at the end of each either week, month, or quarter, depending on what they sign up for. And this serves as their accountability partner to look at the numbers. It's a reminder of where they stand and a overview highlight, right? So our clients get their financials plus an email summary of where they're at. So it's a way of saying, hey, accountability partner here. This is where your progress is. Here's what we can drive from these numbers. Let's book a call and talk about the basics, talk about the numbers every single month, every single quarter, so that you can make improvements. And so either be your own accountability partner or find an accountability partner.
I love that. And can you share, obviously, no names or anything like that, but I would love to know, as you were talking, I was thinking about, I wonder what amazing things business owners have been able to pivot on or work on or change. Do you have any stories like that you could share with us about something like, oh yeah, no, we found this, there was like a massive expense bleed over here, and we were able to like stop that and move over there. Do you have any fun stories? I have a feeling you do.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, which of the 100 million do we pick? Recently we have a client that you had talked about like a bleed, right? So we find that on the online space, it's really easy to bleed in our subscription expenses. And so what we do is we create QuickBooks or take the QuickBooks that you have today, and we pull all the transactions, all the information from the beginning of the year to year to date. And so we perform what's called the catch up. And then that client, right? It's a really fun thing. And then they get a summary of their numbers. They get a summary of their financials, and we get on a call and review the information together. And we provide the P&L in several different formats. We do the P&L by month for the last 12 months. We do the P&L year to date compared to prior year.
Cool.
Right. And then we do the P&L as a percentage of income.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All three of these reports can come from QuickBooks. So if you're using QuickBooks and your QuickBooks is current, you can pull those three reports and kind of follow along. So this percentage of income report is my favorite report. This is when I talk to a client, this is the report that I pull up. And the reason is that we can specifically look at your business and tell you how much of your sales, how much of your gross revenue is going towards advertising. How much of your revenue is going towards payroll, right? Or contractors? How much of your revenue is going towards subscriptions? And this is a big one. So we had a client who we realized that almost 20% of their income was going to subscriptions.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Got it.
Painful. And we do have a chart that we use with our clients to help them understand, are their percentages healthy or not, right? So are they on the outside of that of what is healthy? And so we went through this list of subscriptions with this client and realized that we're paying for things that we're not using anymore. They realized that one of the subscriptions that they were paying for, newer software, had all of the features, so they could cancel the other one. But when you see how much of your income is going, it's eye-opening.
Yeah, I could totally see that too. And I can imagine, like, I'm just thinking about, you just made me think about all the software we're using in our business too. Right? Like over here, I'm like, Team Sarah needs to sit down. But it's like all the different softwares. And I love what you just said. There can be new technologies that come out that actually do everything you've been looking for, and it's a fraction of the price, right?
Mm-hmm. And then, I think there's something really special about strategizing with your bookkeeping or accounting department. I like to consider us the department.
I love that.
Right? We're the department for our clients. And what that means is getting on a Zoom call. So we get on a Zoom call either monthly or quarterly with our clients. And I want to give you another example. We had a client who was having some cash flow issues, and she didn't understand why her revenue kept on increasing, but they always had a crunch on cash, right? They always felt the squeeze in cash. So I had them walk through with us each step of their process. So how do they invoice clients? When do they invoice them? How do they collect? When do they pay their contractors? How do they pay their contractors? How are they buying inventory? And we walked through their entire process and we broke it down. And we said, all right, how do we make small changes to make big impacts and shift your cash? And what we decided by the time we got off the calls, we're not disrupting her entire business. We're not disrupting the entire industry. So instead of billing 25% up front, 25% mid-project, and 25% at the end, we did 50% up front.
Right. And that must have totally shifted how things come in. And then when the vendor bills came in, there was more cash to take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And then we made a small change in how we paid our staff. So we made a small change in the way that the staff members were tracking their time and how we were paying them. And with that small change, we had the cash coming in before the contractors got paid.
Got it. Yeah. As opposed to always playing catch up, right? Like you have to pay all the contractors and then hope that the invoice gets paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is an example that maybe doesn't fit all online businesses, but you can see how strategizing with somebody else that's outside of your company can help you, because we forget that, look, entrepreneurship is lonely, right?
For sure.
It's very,
Yes. Just
very
yes.
lonely. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're not going to a dinner party or to your friend's house over the weekend and talking about strategizing your business. Hey mom, my numbers are down for the third month in a row. What do you think I should do? Right.
Right. Right. Not
Mom,
a conversation. No.
she might not have a solution for you. Mom, you're great. But so looking for coaches, bookkeeping team members, other people outside of your company. So these are all ways that you can think about strategizing. So I just wanted to give you a few examples that aren't just, it's easy to think of bookkeeping as just tracking what's happened. All you're doing is categorizing where I spent my money. And that's only a quarter of the picture, right? It's like such a small portion of what we do is actually categorizing it, right? Because what we're doing is we're taking our strategic framework and constantly making sure that QuickBooks is maintained and the structure and the integrity is there so that at a moment's notice, we can pull those numbers and make solid business decisions from them. That's the important part.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So let's not think of bookkeeping as an after effect of like, oh, here's the tracking. Mm-hmm. Rather, it's data that can improve where we go from here. One of the biggest questions I get from clients, I'm not a bookkeeper, right? So I'm always like, well, it looks like you have to look at when bills come in and bills go out, right? But is this, why doesn't my P&L, the numbers I see on my P&L, why don't those numbers match what's in my bank account?
Yeah. Okay.
I get that question all the time.
Let's go there.
Oh my goodness. There's so much juice in there, you guys. There's
a lot of juice in there. So if you want to know where the cash went, if you're using your accounting system and it's correct, you should be able to pull what's called the cash flow statement. So I want to be able to give everybody access to the right report, right? I believe in action. So I want you to be able to have an action step that you can go look at right now. So go pull your cash flow statement. I think it's most accurate when you can do it year to date. And what our cash flow statement tells us is how much have we taken in owner's draws? Because that's the biggest piece that we find is that we forget as an LLC or sole proprietor, anything but an S corp, that you are not on payroll, which means you're not a business expense, which means you are not on your income statement. So if you went and let's say you commingle business and personal funds. And so you have to mark all of your personal things that you're spending out of your business checking account as an owner's draw, but you forgot that you did that. I had a client who forgot that they put their entire family vacation on their business credit card. Yeah. And it was like $10,000. So
of course, what most family vacations cost. Oh my gosh.
Yes. So, which is fine, right? Like
Sure.
I want you to do it from a personal account and transfer the money. However, whatever, it happens. But they kept on saying, I didn't take any owner's draw. I'm like, yes, you did. So we forget that we commingle funds. So it's any personal expenses that landed in your business credit card, business checking account. It's any owner's draws that you've taken. And then there's timing of credit card payments. So another thing to keep in mind is that when you sync your business credit card to QuickBooks, when you go to the coffee shop and you spend $10 at Starbucks today, it is going to show up in QuickBooks the day you swipe that card. However, the cash isn't going to come out of your checking account until next month. And so this can have a huge impact. And if we spent a lot of money this month, but we don't pay for it until next month, like, well, where did all my cash go?
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not on your P&L. It's not there.
Mystery solved. Hooray.
Yeah. There's a few other ones. So if you're billing clients and then, so if you're using QuickBooks to bill your clients and then not collecting for 30 days or 15 days, it could be a collections issue on, your QuickBooks system will consider it revenue the day you invoice your client. And then you won't get the cash until they pay. It's less common. And then there could be some inventory issues of when you're buying inventory, when you're selling inventory. But I think more common is the owner's draws and credit card.
Love it. Okay. Okay. Oh, so helpful, right? I hope we had some aha moments, whether you guys are at the gym or in the car. I hope there have been some aha moments for everybody going,
Write it down.
oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah. Okay. Awesome. So I know you talk a lot about, and have a free gift for our listeners today, but you talk a lot about a financial dashboard. Can you share what you love to see there, and why that's so important?
Yeah. So there could be a few different variations of a dashboard, and I want to meet you where you're at today. Cream of the crop, right, is what we call a weekly dashboard. So in the weekly dashboard, I don't want you, the business owner, filling this out. You get really in the weeds. It can be defeating, like, oh, one more thing I have to do, one more sheet I have to obtain. So have your bookkeeper or your operations, maybe your virtual assistant, whoever it might be, help you fill this out. And if you don't have anybody who are DIYing, you can use this template in order to fill it out on your own. But if you fill it out on your own, I want you to let's say you're doing Finance Friday, I want you to fill it out in the morning. I want you to walk away, go take a walk, take a drink of water, eat lunch, whatever, and come back and review it like a different person. Because if you're doing the numbers and then reviewing it, you're not going to.
Got it. Okay. So a break between data collection, data input,
Yes.
right? And then actually digesting that and looking at it as the boss and saying, okay, here's what we're seeing. So you have a break.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's brilliant, Danielle. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need it. You need it.
Yeah.
You're coming.
This is a different brain, right? I mean, it makes sense.
You're going to come back as the CEO. You're going to come back as a high level review. And if you're in collection mode, you're not going to do that.
Brilliant.
So the weekly dashboard, and you could change this. We start with a template for each of our clients, and then we ebb and flow with what's important to that client. So we always start with cash balance, credit card and loan balance, and then availability. Who owes us money? So any invoices that are still outstanding. Who do I owe money to? So let's say I used a web developer and the payment is due in 2 weeks. It's not due today, but it allows me to see a week or two in the future, right? So it's the 30-day window. And then I want you to see sales month to date, year to date, and then compare that to prior year and to your goals.
Cool. Okay. Okay. And you have a dashboard available for people. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. It'll be in the show notes. You can download it. And that way it's an Excel Google template that you can fill in right there. So just make a copy for yourself and you can use that every week. And then use this to be your decision-making tool, right? Like refer to it when you go to make business decisions. If the credit cards are maxed out and you don't have a lot of availability left, and invoices that need to be paid aren't going to be paid till the end of the month, cash is low, like it makes making a decision really easy. So when I see shiny objects, I'm like, well, it's not a good time.
Not this month. Yeah. That you have the ability to actually back that up with data, as opposed to feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm such a Scrooge, or gosh, I'm so stingy, or what I have entrepreneur porn to think for this, but the whole, I should just believe it'll be fine. Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's like, no, let's make strong, awesome, strategic decisions based on what we know to be true right now. And let's look at what we want to create too.
Yeah. Because what if your cash is high, but you have a credit card payment coming up?
That's right.
And you just know that. Yeah. You just made a big business decision thinking you can afford it, but you can't.
Yikes.
So that's why you can't just look at your cash balance, right? I hear that a lot from business owners. Well, I check my cash balance every day. Well, good for you. It only tells you one part of the story.
That's so great, but there's more. But wait, don't order now. Right?
It's just like reading the first paragraph of the book. Like, congratulations, keep reading.
It's great. There's more. Okay. I love that. Danielle, this has just been so much fun. I've loved chatting with you today. Numbers geeks align. Good times. So let's say someone just absolutely fell in love with you during this podcast. How can people find out more about you?
So the best place is to go to kickstartaccountinginc.com. Inc is really important. You'll find us at kickstartaccountinginc.com. If you'd like to talk about your specific situation or brainstorm on any of the topics that you heard today, there's a pretty little blue button called Book a Call. You can talk to one of our team members, talk about your specific situation, what's going on with your business, what resources we might have available for you. We also have our podcast, Entrepreneur Money Stories. So if you love hearing about money mindset or strategies in order to improve your numbers game, tune into Entrepreneur Money Stories.
Love it. Danielle, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me here.